Hi everyone, this is Francisco. I'm recording this video, and it's basically another design that I just thought of right now regarding the hydraulic generator. So I thought about, I was thinking about the dams, the water dams that generate electricity, and I was thinking, what if we kind of simplified this generator by, the best way I can describe it is like looking at an hourglass, and I was thinking, if there's hydraulics that can push and force the water upwards, if it requires less electricity to do that because of the hydraulics, and then removing or causing the hydraulics to open up again so the water can fall back down, and it can be a regulated water. The water flow can fall down at a certain speed, and we can do like a big we can do it on a big scale. It's technically I think I might have shared this idea already. I'm not too sure though. I don't really remember. But if you guys take imagine there's two water bottles, but there has to be, the top would have to be open or something, right? So there could be like an airflow, and I was thinking maybe somewhere over here as well. I don't know, there could be another opening and closing chamber, like a door, kind of like a valve, a valve. So it will close when the water gets forced up to the top one. Then it will open up as the water goes down, because it will go directly down and not out through here. This would just be for the air to go out, for the water to get sprayed forcefully downwards, which will then turn like a generator, like a little engine or something, to generate electricity. It's a straightforward design, and you guys can make a massive one, and it doesn't have to be just one hydraulic unless it works that way. I don't really know if it'll work or not, but if you guys look into creating something like this, you guys won't have to rely on dams. You guys won't have to rely on the sun, because this thing here, I'm thinking it will my theory, or my I forgot how that goes, but my hypothesis, I think it is that it will require less electricity to cause the hydraulics, the hydraulic system to go in, and I'm thinking like gallons and gallons of water, like a ton of water, right? And basically it will just shut. All that water will get forced up, and then they'll just open back up, like, but at the same time it will be sealed so the water won't leak. It'll be a container, and the water that is now up here, gravity will push it down, and it'll spin the generator thing. It'll generate electricity, and I'm hoping and I'm thinking that it will produce more electricity, which will then be positive electricity that can then be used to like power houses, boats, even vehicles, just electricity. Okay, like they don't have to be, very, very massive, I don't think. And if we can cause it to run 24/7, then that would be the key right there. All right, because we all know that, like, I think it's 2 hours or like an hour, or like I think 4 hours to charge like a Tesla or something like that. So if this thing is running while the vehicle is running, maybe there could be like a switch where half the batteries are used while driving, while this generator is generating electricity to power these other batteries, and then the driver can switch batteries. Alright, so now the generator will power these batteries as the vehicle uses this section of batteries or something like that. I don't really know. But I was thinking, a lot of people are using free ways of generating electricity with water, with the wind, with the sun. So I was thinking about this generator idea, and I was thinking like a bag, like a bag. If you guys can squeeze a ton of water to make it go upwards, that's all it really comes down to. So it could even be like a balloon or something, so kind of like that, and it could be stretched down as well. And when the balloon gets stretched downwards, it will cause it to go like this, right? Which will then force the water upwards. So that'll be another way of kind of looking at this whole approach. But I'm thinking that the best and easiest way to create a very powerful generator will be with a hydraulic system. Hydraulics are very powerful. They can handle a lot of weight. They last a long time. They're used in a lot of heavy machinery for construction and a bunch of other things, right? I don't really know too much for me to give you guys more details, other than the fact that like, I think my conclusion is, the conclusion, right? Like the end of like a science experiment, like in elementary, is basically what I already said. All right. So that's all I really have for this video. So it's technically like, imagine if this was let's say like 1,000 gallons, right? Just to throw a number out there, and imagine the hydraulic system pushing on this side and this side. So now there's a force pushing, and look at where the water's going. It's going up, right? It's going up. And if I push it all the way, obviously the water's going to go up. So if this was at a shape, like I'm thinking like a square or a rectangle, or even like one massive freaking like thin I don't know, like one massive like square, or yeah, like one massive square, like maybe like 500 feet wide by like 20 feet high. And I mean, even 4 inches, if it was filled in all the way with like 4 inches, imagine how many gallons it would be able to hold, right? It would probably be the 1,000 gallons or even more. And all the machine, the hydraulics would have to do is like push on one side of the wall until it gets flat. All that water is going to go up, and then right here it will be like a triangle, like a cone, kind of like a cone, alright? And then when it opens up, all that water will eventually come back down, and when it falls down, it will be spinning the generator there. It won't really matter if the generator spins. Well, it would be better if it spins while this forces the water up. But even if it doesn't, it will still work when it goes down, because yeah, there's going to be water here. When this is fully compressed, there's going to be a little bit of water here, right? But once it opens up, that water is going to drop. It's going to drop all the way to the bottom, and then the water is going to instantly start filling this area once again. So that's the idea behind this, generator idea. And I know I thought of like a different design, and I talked about it. Like, I think if we can get the right people, like like even like a school, like people who are educated that are interested in like science or building generators, or they want to start a new company or something like that. I think this would be a good idea. But I can't really like create a prototype, although I can, but it won't be with all the computer stuff, because it's going to require computers to cause this thing to run 24/7, and that's all it will do. It will force that water up, and then it will release it and allow it to come back down. The water will be recyclable, reusable water. And we can create hundreds and thousands of these things everywhere. And we can have enough power to refine like gold, metal, all sorts of things. Like, I don't know, the full potential, but I thought that this was a simple design. And I know I have another design, but I think this one might be better. Because it's a simple concept, right? Water naturally wants to flow down. Like, I was working for this window cleaning company for a little while, for just a few months. It's called Sea of Glass Window Cleaning out here in Riverside, California. And he told me that water will travel at the least resistance possible. Okay? So, like, I was thinking, how is there rivers constantly getting fed with water, in this planet, right? In this planet that we are in, how is water constantly flowing? Like the Rio Grande or the Sacramento River, right? Like, there's a bunch of rivers out there. If the world is round, and how is it that water is constantly flowing up out of the ocean or whatever and into the land? Or how is it coming up naturally with a spring of water, right? Springs, natural springs that just gush water out, right? It's constantly doing that. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, if we can somehow do what I'm kind of talking about, like having water contained, kind of like in an hourglass type of concept, and having some type of hydraulics force that water up, and then allowing it to free it so it can come back down, and it will generate electricity, right? And it would just do that all day long. Like, I thought about that while I was thinking about this, how the world does this naturally, because we have water dams, right? They work. the water is always coming in. It's never going to run out. It's never going to stop. It's been doing that for many, many years, right? And it's free, basically. Besides all the concrete they poured and the windmills that they built, right, and all that stuff. So I'm thinking this design will work, and I think I explained it clear enough and in simplest terms for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. Another another way for this to work as well, I would have to sit down with a team who's taking this stuff seriously, to think about ideas, but I'm technically thinking kind of like a wheel where we can use the hydraulic system to push on the wheel, and the wheel will have a certain, it'll be on it, it's either going to be on the axle of the wheel won't be centered on. It's either that, or the wheel will have a specific type of pattern that will cause the wall to move forward, which will then raise the water up, right? Without this, will work so that the hydraulic thing won't have to extend so far. It will just move the wheel just a little bit, and just the pattern of it will swing out, and force that wall to just go forward. And this will also require less electricity, I'm thinking. Okay, so that plays a huge factor as well for this to work effectively. But technically that's all I can really think of. Or if you guys can make it work where there's an hourglass type of concept with at the bottom you guys will have something that is 100% filled, something stainless steel, or I don't know, something, right? And it'll just go up. When it goes up, it'll be forcing the water to go upwards, right? And then it'll go down. When it's going down, the water will go down in the hourglass, when you turn the sand thing, you turn it and the sand goes down. You turn it again, the sand goes down. Turn it again, the sun goes down. Oh, I think I already thought about this. But I don't know. I I just keep thinking about ways to make money, and to help people out, because I know if I can make, like, contributions to the world, to people, I'm thinking that they will look out for me as well, in one way or another, right? So personally, I think of this like winning the lottery. Okay, like that would be like everyone's dream, right? To produce like perpetual motion or never-ending electricity, because electricity can be sold to other people. People depend on the electricity. Without electricity, we don't have technology. We don't have, a bunch of other things, right? We can't really do what we're doing today with all this technology, with all this electricity stuff, 3D printers, a bunch of things, right? So I think that this will be the most simplest way to produce electricity. Because solar panels, like if I were to make comparisons, if I was to compare certain approaches or certain, yeah.
You want everything in your hamburger?
Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. Thank you.
You want coffee or no?
Yeah, I'll take some.
I'll take some. Okay.
Thank you, Mom. So, if I was to compare like this design with like solar panels, we all know that they only work when the sun's out, right? The same can be kind of true with the mirrors. The mirror, the concentration of the sun's rays, they hit a mirror and they reflect on this ball thing, and it heats up, I think it's salt or something like that, and it turns it into like sulfur, and which helps to power some steam engines, some turbines, and then turbines, and then at night this stuff is so hot that it could run during the night as well. Okay, but if it's raining, like let's say it starts raining for like a month or a week, then that whole business is not operational. Alright? The other way of generating electricity will be the dams. Obviously that's running 24/7. Right? So that's a good one, but it's not transportable. It can't be transferred anywhere. It's fixed. With this design that I'm talking about, we can take it anywhere in the world. I mean, these things can be sold and installed in people's homes, people's businesses. All these power lines we won't even have to rely on that anymore. But we do have technology, we do have, order. There's a system, there's laws and stuff that people have to abide by, right? We all know that. So only because I say we don't have to rely on power lines, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world, or it doesn't mean that you people can just do whatever you guys want to do, right? I say that because my choice of words. But anyways, I mean, if it's kind of like solar panels, right? Solar panels are connected to the roof of the house, and then to like Edison, the power lines, right? But with this idea, you guys can cut all these big businesses out the picture, technically, but not necessarily, because someone still has to perform the maintenance for these generators. Someone has to do, the upkeep and stuff like that. So it could be part of Edison. If Edison buys this company or this concept, or they build their own, or people design their own, kind of like Apple computers, Apple incorporation, or whatever the business thing is, like INC dot. Well, there could be a bunch of competitors. You guys would just have to design a bunch of different concepts and start selling them to people, and you guys can feed off each other's ideas and make it better, kind of like cell phones. First it was something simple, not complicated, and then it got complex. You guys started adding more stuff, and there's more and more technology within a phone, and it basically impacted our world in a positive way, because it impacted all the businesses, all of the people within the world. So I know that a lot of you will be interested in this idea, and for people who live like in Alaska or in places where it's like super freezing, I'm thinking that maybe you guys can use some type of antifreeze inside, which is recyclable. Okay, if you guys get a leak, that's when you guys will have to be concerned, but not necessarily, because you guys can have a container, or in case of a leak, you guys can have an emergency way of collecting that water, runoff, like a runoff system. So it will break, there's a leak, all the water will come out, and hold on, all that water will come out, and obviously there will be sensors, it will be computerized, so if there is, for whatever reason, a leak, you guys will know about it. Alright? It'll send you an alert. But the water or the solution that escaped will be collected in a different reservoir, which will then be able, which you guys will be able to transport back into the generator thing. But that's just, if shit hits the fan type of thing, and you guys don't want to lose this precious fluid or whatever it might be, especially in extreme conditions like that. But other than that, that's the simplest it's going to get. And I've been thinking about different ideas, different approaches to generate electricity. But for right now, this is all I have. So again, this is another update for the hydraulic generator idea. And you guys would have to look at all the videos that where I share this type of stuff, for you guys to understand like all my other concepts and ideas and logic, so you guys can like write it all down professionally and then get other people who are smart involved. And you guys can do it without me. You guys don't need me. But I personally would love to hear that it will work. And if eventually later on in the future people start using these things, that would be super cool to know about. But other than that, I have to head out. My mom's calling me. She's making me a burger, so praise God for that. And like honestly, just for this video, I'm done. And I'm kind of like getting stressed out because you guys know me already. I hear voices, people. Like, I hear these voices, negative thoughts. People are calling me stupid, fucking retarded. Like, here we go again type of thing with this motherfucker. That type of shit. And it's just so frustrating because I'm fucking trying to get out of this poverty state that I'm in so I could become fucking wealthy, so I could have shit, so I could help people. Okay, I'm not fucking around. I'm not fucking around with any of you. Alright, so if you guys are taking this shit seriously and you guys recognize something out there, some people out there who are like getting in my way and in the way of future generations, because they will be benefiting from all of this shit, like, please just do your job and get them out of my face, get them out of my life. Like, I don't want to be dealing with this small shit anymore. Even me having a job, like, it's cool and everything, but I don't want to be doing that shit my whole life. I feel like I'm working for fucking the military, and these motherfuckers are giving me the runaround and shit. That's how I feel about all this. Like, I would prefer to fucking focus on AI technology, AI robots, so it can impact the future, so they can do all the grunt work, so people like us won't have to. That's the way I look at it. But I think I've said enough, right? I think I'm venting like a steam engine. I'm venting like a steam generator. It's gotta